Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing on the October 17th readings of Courage to Change and a Little Time for Myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Begin with a little time for myself. October 17th. I'll take a moment to read. The question of the day is, in what ways does loving myself help me to love others? And the reading begins with a person trying to change their spouse because they felt that it was a good reflection on them. And it turned out that they never felt worthy on their own. But Al-Anon helped them, and the closing, and I'm going to quote the closing, though you may not like all of us, you'll love us in a very special way, the same way we already love you. When this person heard that, it was the first time that they ever remembered feeling unconditional love. And today's reminder says that Al-Anon helps us receive unconditional love and teaches us how to give unconditional love. So, in what ways does loving myself help me to love others? Well, loving myself, for me, I think it actually works the other way. That's how I experienced it in my life. So I'm going to start there because when I see good things in the past, when I've seen good things in other people, and then I realize that I also see that in myself, I realize that I'm worthy of love. The whole idea of the concept of humility has helped me with my feelings of worthiness, and also that somehow connects to my feelings of loving myself. I truly do love myself. So the question, in what ways does loving myself help me to love others? Well, I think that when I have love in my heart, it's easy to spread love. So when I'm feeling lovingly towards myself, when I'm feeling at peace, let's put it that way, when I'm feeling at peace, it's easy for me to act in a peaceful manner, and therefore I'm showing others love. I hope that makes sense. But I think that's how it works for me. What about you? In what ways does loving yourself help you to love others? Love is so important. That's a little time for myself. Now we'll move on to Courage to change. October 17th. Just take a moment. This is great. So the quote is Tradition 9, which is, "Our groups as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve." So this reading is all about the gentleness and freedom of the Al-Anon program. It talks about the how there are no rules, everything is a guideline, and that we're free to work the steps at our own pace. We're free to ask questions as they come up. It's funny, it's like nobody's in charge, but we all have a part, an important part. So even though nobody's in charge, it's almost like everyone's kind of a little bit in charge, but no one is more important than the other. It talks about the importance of being guided by our higher power, who is expressed in our group conscience. That instead of rules, we have guidelines and suggestions. And how we trust our fellow members who follow the guidelines and the suggestions in a way that works for them. The ultimate authority is our higher power. When we do service, it doesn't mean that we're in charge. It means that we are helping our own recovery. And then it quotes Tradition 9. There's also mention about how Al-Anon works better than most organizations, which is, which is true in a lot of ways. I don't know about your experience, but my experience is that problems get solved and everything is manageable, which is great. So again, for me, it's funny how the two readings are not really connected, but kind of sort of, because they're making me think of humility, how nobody's better than anybody else, and how nobody's worse than anybody else. Like everybody's equal. Everybody has something to contribute. And it's important that everybody contributes so that we can have a fellowship. Meaning that everyone's experience, strength, and hope is important. And it helps the program stay strong. Everyone's got something to offer. I feel like that's true outside of Al-Anon too. I think it's true everywhere. I just love how it's practiced so consciously in Al-Anon. So that's courage to change. We'll close out with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.